Our final list of cruise lingo is a little bit shorter, but can be just as confusing for anyone new to cruising. And so I thought maybe we would touch on terms you'll come across when booking a cruise. Ahoy, travelers! It's Amy with Cruising from the Ozarks here to help you make your vacation a success. Our first term is guaranteed cabin. Now, no matter the cabin level, whether it's interior, a balcony, ocean view, etc., a guaranteed cabin is one where they guarantee that you get at least the level of cabin that you booked. But you're not going to get to pick your cabin location. And for me, it's location, 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 at least for the most part. This will usually be a cheaper option if you are working with a budget and you just don't have any preferences on a cabin location. Our next term is port fees. Every port charges the cruise line a fee per person on the ship. Then that ship is going to pass that fee on to you, the cruiser. On most American base lines, these are not included in your base cruise fare. So you will see those as an additional charge once you've actually clicked to book that cruise. Many European lines have those actually included as part of their base fare. And if your ship does skip a port for some reason, whether that's weather or whatever, you're going to be refunded the fees for that port. Next term is gratuities. And just like on land, a gratuity is a tip. It's that extra money that you're going to give that helps bolster wages for the crew. Most American lines have auto gratuities that you can choose to pay either prior to sailing, but if not, they're going to be added to your account during the cruise. Some lines will allow you to remove those gratuities, and others, especially like British and European lines, they either have the gratuities included within the base fare or they don't have them at all. Tipping is a very American thing that just isn't really done in most of the world. Whether or not you choose to pay the recommended gratuities is probably the most controversial topic in cruising, hands down. People really, there's kind of three camps on this. Either they very much think you shouldn't, they very much think you should, or they're just not sure. So there's a lot of discussion about this. Cruise lines that have added gratuities claim that the money you pay is dispersed amongst the crew. So both those that you have direct contact with, along with those that are behind the scenes. Some cruisers have these gratuities removed so they can choose exactly which crew member gets a gratuity and how much. Personally, I don't have a problem paying them. I just see it as part of the cruise cost, so I figure that in. Then I give additional cash to any crew member that I think goes above and beyond to make my cruise special. If you've made it this far, you should consider subscribing to the channel. It doesn't cost you a thing, and it does help other cruisers know that this channel has content worth viewing. We are a new channel and could really use the support. Hit the notification bell to make sure you don't miss any future posts. Our next term is drink package, and this is just what it sounds like. A drink package is an additional add-on that you can purchase. There are a variety of packages that you can purchase, not just from line to line, but each cruise line usually has multiple packages that they offer. Typically, there will be a soda package, a basic alcohol drinks package, and a deluxe alcohol drinks package. And some lines also have a package for specialty coffees and juices and other things like that. So while some lines that's an addition, in other lines that's actually included in their drinks package. Whether or not to get a drinks package is probably one of the most discussed topics in cruising. Whether or not someone should purchase a drinks package is subjective, and there's just no easy way to come up with an answer that encompasses everybody. The simplest answer is to see if you will at least break even if you purchase a drinks package when you consider how many drinks you're going to consume in a day versus the cost of those drinks and the cost of the drinks package. The next term we're going to talk about is itinerary. And your itinerary is made up of the ports that you're going to visit, along with however many sea days you're going to have during your cruise. It's the route that your cruise ship will take. For example, our next cruise is a Western Caribbean itinerary and includes Cozumel, Belize, Costa Maya, and Roatan, along with 2 sea days. It's a 7-day cruise, or 7-night cruise, technically. Be aware, though, that no cruise line will guarantee that you will go to any port of call. There are various reasons why your itinerary might change, but knowing that it could change is important. If you want compensation for a missed port, there are some cruise insurance policies that will pay out if you miss a port. So you can check to see if that is something that is included in the insurance policy that you have or that you're looking to purchase. The best that you're going to get from the cruise line is your port fees for that missed port will be returned to you. Our next term is excursion. Excursions are often referred to by cruise lines as shore excursions, and they are trips that you take while at port, or at least most of them are. There are some what are technically considered excursions that actually are on ship, like you can take a tour of the background, what's going behind the scenes of a cruise ship. So there are a few of those as well. Now, excursions are going to cost you extra and can vary widely in cost. Cruise lines will offer up a selection for every port that you're visiting, or you can use an outside company to book an excursion. There are benefits of both. If you book an excursion through the cruise line, then the ship is not going to leave you behind at port if your excursion returns late. However, they are usually more expensive than the exact same excursion booked directly from the excursion company. The only time that I book through the cruise line is if I'm wanting to go on an excursion that will last most of the scheduled time to be on shore, or it's scheduled to return to port right prior to when the ship is supposed to sail. Otherwise, I'm usually going to book it through an outside agency that has a good reputation and save a little money. Specialty dining. Now, this is becoming more and more popular. And one of the great things about cruising is that once you have paid for your cruise fare, your port fees and taxes, gratuities, you don't have to pay another dime on your vacation unless you choose to do so. There are so many options out there when it comes to dining on a ship that are included in the cost. It would be impossible to go hungry aboard a cruise ship. However, some people like to spend some extra money and reserve time in a specialty restaurant. This is referred to as specialty dining. It seems like these cruise lines, a lot of them are adding more and more specialty restaurants on their newer ships. Ships want you to spend as much as possible. So this is not something that is unusual that they would do this. And if you're considering trying out some of these restaurants, I would highly suggest booking a specialty dining package to save you some money. Anytime dining or your time dining is offered on some lines as a third alternative to early or late dining in the main dining room. Traditionally, passengers would have to choose between either early or late dining times with very little wiggle room on when you could show up in the MDR and still be served your meal. Anytime dining has allowed passengers more flexibility on when you show up for your evening meal. I've actually done anytime dining for the last couple cruises, and I do like it. However, there are downsides to anytime dining. One of those is that you will most likely have different servers with every meal. So they're not going to get to know your preferences. And like everything, there are pros and cons to any choice that you make, but you will need to make this choice prior to sailing. And that wraps up our 3-part series on Cruise Lingo. I'd love it if you could take the time to drop a comment and let us know if there was a term that was new to you that you found helpful, or if you think I left something out. If you found this list of terms helpful, be sure to check out this video where I go over cruise terms, and come back next week for another video designed to help you have an amazing cruise.